Alexander Surya Jayani. It's 9:21 p.m. August 30th. I don't mean to be a dick, but I have the right to be. I am a victim of a terrorist situation. I'm being held hostage by terrorists, rapists, and murderers, and pedophiles, and repeat sex offenders for 5 years and 6 months now. So I have the right to be really pissed. So I get to say these things because I'm a victim of crime so severe, Gandhi would kill someone. I'm literally a victim of breaches of Nuremberg Code, illegal experimentation. People have been using WMDs on me from space. Um, People have been sexually assaulting me repeatedly for entertainment. People have been abusing me for entertainment, for a betting ring, for rapists and psychopaths and criminals. People have been stealing trillions of dollars from me. Maybe over that. People have been attempting murder on me on a regular basis. So I have the right to say these things. Because, Jesus Christ, someone really sucks around here. Oh, not to mention people are practicing New Age mind slavery on me. Also, other forms of sexual slavery in the form of betting mule sexual slavery, where a bunch of weirdo old people and young people gather around and stalk me with satellite cameras and watch me at private time in my room while they interact with my genitals against my will. And that's gone on for 5 years and 6 months. They're pump wars, as they call it. Pump wars, where some person tries to stimulate my genitals and someone else tries to oppose the stimulation while I'm trying to have private time, and they actually do this for entertainment. So I'm a victim of some highly uneducated people, psychopaths, serial killers. Sometimes when I have private time, they say, 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a pump war. So they're absolutely crazy. So I'm actually a victim of fucking psychopaths and people who suck at their job and people who are more than unprofessional. And then I'm a victim of people rewarding people who are unprofessional and they do blood work and then they reward you is what's been going on. It's part of their terrorist plot. They're rewarding suck and rewarding unprofessionalism. So everyone sucks and is unprofessional and doesn't do their job and ignores RICO, terrorism, organized crime, rape, murder, and ignores illegal weapons manufacturing and distribution, WMDs in space, and them using them on U.S. citizens. It's really fucking odd. They ignore New Age mind slavery, RICO, that's financing terrorism and organized crime, rapists and murderers, and they're just running around raping and murdering, sexually violating, putting devices in people's genitals, brains, hearts, and lungs, and no one cares. Not to mention, they're also financing highly illegal, unethical, inhumane human experimentation with this illegal money. No one cares. No big deal. We're all playing neurosurgeons. We never been to med school. Hell, we didn't even have a bachelor's of science. We're just going to start playing neurosurgeons. Just chopping into people's brains like it's the Wild West. These fucking arrogant bastards. This is actually going on in America. Bet my life on it. And outside of America, there's actual people that arrogant who think they have the right to do neurosurgeries on people from a satellite. A New Age neurosurgery is what they call it. That fucking arrogant. I went to med school, for crying out loud. I wouldn't even feel comfortable doing a fucking neurosurgery. And I was a 4th year in med school. I wouldn't even be like, no, that's very dangerous. Wouldn't even feel comfortable. So who are these arrogant bastards who think they have the right to do that? Goddamn. More than arrogance. That's like pathological arrogance. You're such an egomaniac, such an arrogant bastard that your arrogance endangers human life and humanity. It's just fucking scary. Goddamn. How could you be that arrogant and just have that more than inhuman stupidity? You gotta be one arrogant, stupid bastard. Fucking scary. But we got that going on in America. And it's fucking scary. This sort of horrifying stupidity as well as horrifying arrogance is going on in America. And it's, like I said, I got the right to be a dick, so don't take it personally. If you're one of these guys who tested above 100 on the suck meter and are more than unprofessional and endanger humanity, what would you think about me? Let's switch roles. If someone stole trillions of dollars and you've been writing to law enforcement about theft of IP since 2017, and no one arrested these guys. And then people were committing trillions of dollars in crimes on you, and no one arrested them. And we're even letting people steal money for crimes you're a victim of, as well as steal money for your intellectual property. And people are stealing money for your data, etc., material, content, and data. And no one arrested them, and everyone knew. And trillions of dollars were stolen from you, and trillions in crimes were stolen from you. What would you think about the law enforcement guys investigating it? Would you be like, they suck? God, and then what would you think about the guys who helped them do that and tried to spread the disease of suck and unprofessionalism throughout America by rewarding such, and then the guys accepting such for sucking? They're like, we suck too. I want to be a billionaire. We're unprofessional too. We want to be billionaires too. What would you think about those guys? If you were me, and people stole trillions of dollars from you, committed trillions of dollars in crimes, endangered your life, and you're still being held hostage by terrorists who are shocking your heart daily, shocking your genitals daily, shocking your brain daily, attempted murder on you, doing new age neurosurgeries, performing witness tampering, like, it's no big deal. On a witness to terrorism, organized crime, RICO, who's being held hostage in a RICO, by the way. Who, was a global hero and wrote so much key information to law enforcement of the United Nations, etc., that it may save humanity from these people, other people who suck, and then these other psychopaths who are so rich it's scary, armed with new age weapons and implantation weapons, satellite weapons, and all sorts of hand tying exercises. It's scary. Not to mention, I may have uncovered mole men in America, implanted people going to Dubai and Dallas, getting blackmailed in some gambling ring or in some economic espionage ring, and then getting blackmailed and implanted, and then going back to work and don't want to tell anyone because they're involved in highly illegal shit. So they cover up their implanted, and then they leak information to terrorists in the form of telepathy. So hence involved in espionage and other highly illegal shit. So I helped reveal that too. So that's a key point. And keep in mind, these kids who are pretend to be freedom fighters and investigators, they're also pathological gamblers and do anything for money. So no telling when they'll sell these device credentials to criminals and terrorists to make a little bucks to fund their pathological gambling habit, because that's a piece of this too. Some of these kids knew of the device in my brain, and they got in a little jam in their little gambling ring and started selling people access to the device in my brain. So that's another reason I'm a victim of espionage, or economic espionage, IP theft, data theft, etc. So when these kids get in a jam because of their pathological gambling habit, they start selling device credentials, these new age investigators and secret police. They're really not secret police. They're really just terrorist and confidence men who stole technology that was never even theirs. So be careful. So if you trust them, you shouldn't, because they'll do anything for money. I mean, some of these guys rape autistic guys, perform rape-like violence on autistic guys for money. Some of these guys abuse human life for rich people entertainment for money. So they'll do anything for money. Some of these kids would blackmail their own parents for money. Some of these guys are trying to murder an autistic guy for rich people's entertainment for money. Some of these guys try to frame innocent people for money. So what does that tell you? If you know these guys who have access to these devices in people's brains, they'll do anything for money. They would even sell access to CIA agents and politicians' devices if they had a device in their brain for money. So let's keep that in mind. That's another threat. So yeah, these guys will do anything for money. No respect for human life. Only loyalty to Benjamin Franklin. And they're not even loyal to themselves. It's crazy. They don't even respect themselves. It's absolutely scary. Some of these people. They don't even respect their own family. They blackmail their own family. They don't even respect America. They supposedly blackmail law enforcement and politicians in America. So that's the kind of guys we're dealing with in the suck meter. Yeah. And endangering humanity. Have no remorse for their behavior, no remorse for their actions. Harm anyone as long as they, carry out their selfish agendas. So we're dealing with some grade A shitbags. But yeah, there's some idiot rewarding these people who test above 100 on the suck meter, as well as people who are more than unprofessional, who are actually endangering humanity. So that's a piece of this. Maybe these new age investigator, Illuminati investigator, lunatics. It's a piece of this, amongst God knows who else. But if you were me, you'd be pissed, and you wouldn't just talk about a suck meter and unprofessionalism. You probably, if you were me, some of you may have already killed someone, because I've been hearing people who were trying to kill people for $1 million that wasn't even theirs. Some of these guys actually supposedly murdered or tried to murder people for $1 million that was not even theirs. Try losing trillions or more, and people committing trillions of dollars in crimes on you and slander. Yeah. Oh, and trying to mutilate your genitals for no reason because they got caught. And people then caught these people committing severe crimes and then didn't arrest them, and instead armed them with more weapons so they could keep committing crimes on me, which is another piece of this. And more evidence of these unprofessionals who are way over 100% on the suck meter. And then people are trying to make those guys rich too. Arming terrorists with more weapons instead of putting them in jail. And arming cyber terrorists with more cyber terrorist tools so they can run amok and create an even bigger headache. This is actually going on in America. In Houston, Texas, Dallas, California, New York, Woodlands, Texas, Dubai. Yeah, this is actually going on. So you can be a terrorist nowadays and then, get caught, and you can get caught stealing large sums of money, and then they put you either on house arrest or in some weird little fake prison, and then they arm you with more weapons and cyber terrorist tools to commit more terrorist acts. It's actually going on. Bet my life on it. So yeah, I don't know what's going on, but or at least that's what they led me to believe. Bet my life on it, and that's the vibe I'm getting. And then you can even another thing you can do in America is you can be a terrorist and be involved with organized crime, RICO, and terrorism. Then you can pretend you write my letters to get off the hook and avoid prison. You can pretend you wrote my DOJ letter, my DOJ letters. You can pretend you wrote my letters to law enforcement, and then you can pretend you weren't a terrorist and just go somewhere and pretend like, oh, some kid who doesn't know how to hack me, and that's how you got these letters. And then you can like avoid prison and avoid affiliation with terrorism and organized crime. This is actually going on in America. So all you got to do is know some people or know who's writing the letters, and then you can just make up some story to avoid prison and avoid affiliation with a terrorist organization by pretending you wrote my letters, my DOJ letters, and all the letters I wrote to law enforcement. This is actually going on in America. Bet my life on it. So that's actually a piece of this. So these guys, I reported a bunch of terrorists in my letters, and then they were suspects. And then they actually went to law enforcement and pretended they wrote my letters and somehow avoided going to prison for terrorism and more. So that guy who fell for that shit, I think the meter broke when they tested him for suck. Yeah, I think the meter broke. Yeah. Oh, he wants to be a billionaire too. Key point. Praise Jesus.